Welcome viewers, you're watching NewsX and I'm Vaishali Kohli. Now, ahead of his visit to India, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Washington is prepared to supply India with as much energy as it is willing to purchase. He described India as a great ally and partner and stressed the importance of stronger cooperation between the two countries. Rubio's remarks come amid concerns over global energy supplies following the ongoing US-Iran conflict. Rubio added that talks on extra supplies are already underway. We want to be able to do more. We were already in talks with them to do more. We want them to be a bigger part of their portfolio. We also think there are opportunities with Venezuelan oil, Rubio said, pointing to possible diversification options. The remarks framed US energy exports, including possible Venezuelan volumes, as part of a wider conversation on shielding India from unstable prices and supply shocks. Let's take a look at India's oil imports. Let me show you that, viewers, on the big screen. Now, India's oil imports from Venezuela, 0.3%. And of course, others. Now, let's look at the whole chart. So, we of course have America at 6.5%, and we have different countries that we are seeing here at, at various percentages. So, this is a chart that we are showing you of how much oil we import from Venezuela. So, the US of course plays a major part at 6.5%. So, these are the details. This is a pie chart, and other countries would be at a 10% is what we are seeing here. So, these are the various countries that we purchase oil from and the percentages. And of course, Russia is also a part of it, viewers. So, this is the whole chart. Oman is at of course, 21% is what we are seeing. All right, Oman is at a 21%, Saudi Arabia is at a 16%. So, these are of course the percentages that we are sharing with you, and UAE is at a 9%. All right, viewers. So, this is of course the latest that we are sharing with you, and we have Professor Bijon Mishra. He is an economist who joined me on the broadcast. Now, Professor Mishra, this is of course, US is of course seeing it as a business opportunity, but what is your take on it?
Well, my take is it's a good sign, and the whole world knows that India is one of the largest consumer, and we need energy. We need support at this point of time from whatever source we can get to ensure that we are able to manage supplying the essential services to our citizens at this point of time. And energy is one of the major input, not only for the industry, but for even individual citizens. So I feel very happy about the fact that America is coming forward to also negotiate with us, to be able to help us out at this point of crisis, and along with other countries. And our Prime Minister, as you know, he's not sleeping. He's going all over the world to encourage bilateral relationships to be developed so that economically we can be secured and our country can move forward in a seamless manner as we are growing. And as we all know that we are the fastest growing country in the world today with the highest GDP growth. So the whole world is looking at India as a big market and an opportunity. So we welcome people who would like to come and negotiate with us without any hidden agenda, and openly in a transparent manner negotiate with us, gives us the best kind of competitive pricing in whatever deals which are going to take place during such visits. from authorities who are being designated to come and negotiate with our leaders in our country. So welcome. I am very happy about the fact and about the development which is going on. So India is ready to accept any kind of support to facilitate at this point of time when we are having challenges in terms of being able to have secured supply of essential services like energy.
All right, Professor Mishra, now of course our Prime Minister has made some suggestions to conserve fuel and how we can sort the problem out. But realistically speaking, what is your take on that and what are your suggestions in order to survive the storm of increasing fuel prices?
Well, the Prime Minister has already given the 7 commandments, which I feel are very realistic, and we should try to inculcate within ourselves at this time of crisis. We need to conserve whatever way we can to ensure that there's no short supply and we are able to manage ourselves within the resources made available to us. So I think it's time for the citizens also to respond. You see, every time you can't expect government to do everything, and government is what? Government is you and me. We are government. We are part of the country's development. We all have to join together. The industry has to move in, the citizens have to move in, the policymakers, lawmakers, all have to be concerned today. And we need also very responsible opposition in our country who should be able to motivate citizens to encourage these on these kind of interventions which are being proposed by the government and our Prime Minister. So instead of just in the sake of opposing, we oppose, it is not good for the country. What we need to understand is we need to have sustainable solutions at this point of time to overcome the crisis. And country needs to ensure that we don't consume energy in an irrational manner. We do it in a rational way. We try to conserve. We should encourage, supporting the Prime Minister's 7 commandments which he has given us to follow. And I strongly feel we should try to do as much as we can to bring in efficiency in our work. People should be working overtime to ensure that we are able to bring in much more competition in the market so that the consumers, the citizens are able to access product and services at the most affordable price. Because as we all know, we have to tame the inflation. We have to all fight against inflation so that we are able to make all our essential services accessible and affordable for the citizens. And I always believe that when such crisis happens, there's a huge opportunity of innovation, creativity, bringing in discoveries, doing something which we never did before. We should think on those lines. And I'm happy that the citizens are responding. Everybody is responding. I can see within the government, they have now become very careful in terms of use of public money. All those VIP, privileges which were being given to the elected representatives and the governance in the country are being reduced. So that reduction would set good examples for the industry to also ensure that they are able to make products and services in a much more competitive manner than what they were doing earlier. So I'm very happy with the way we are moving, and I think we are in the right direction.
All right, I'll come back to my guest.